come to the bold analysis, ladies and gentlemen. The DAPK political fight between Eugene Wamalwa and Tanzania Governor George Natembeya stinks to part of a far-reaching infiltration of the opposition camp by the state. It is ironical that men and women in the opposition who claim to be having a solid force to defeat Ruto in 2027 are spending much time and their resources fighting each other. This fight is not an organic fight for power or political interest. This fight, to me, I can tell you that opposition has been infiltrated. And this infiltration, it has been done and orchestrated by state players within that opposition camp. And I need to tell you this. As the things stand, if Kalonzo, Rigathi, Eugene, Matiang'i, Karua and the team hold together and William Ruto sticks with Raila Odinga, then 2027 context is already defined. That context is already defined and it's difficult for the incumbent. So I want to demonstrate to you how that infiltration has been done and the objective of that infiltration targeting the Western wing. Kindly subscribe to our channel, click the notification bell and like our videos. And I want to say thank you very much for this month of July. I have 2 updates. We built a house in Embu for Faith. And again, we also helped baby Willis who was in Eldoret, and my team left there yesterday. We were able to support, and so we're waiting for the operation, the surgery that is supposed to be done after the chemos are administered. Thank you very much. This is the soundbite of the Nada.
Hi guys, so tuko Eldoret, tulikuja kuona mama Willis na huyu Willis, unaona tumbo yake imefura kidogo.
Kwa majina naitwa Natembeya-Malala. Nashukuru watu wa Gold Foundation na wenye walinichangia. Nimekuja kwa hospitali ya Royal Referral Hospital. Nimekaa hapo for 2 weeks now. And I thank all who have contributed for me. May God bless you all. Nimeanzisha kama mama. Private part yake ilifura. Alafu kidogo tulipelekwa Homa Bay kwa surgery. Kitu ilipatikana kama left hand. Sasa tuliambiwa mwende tu kwa clinic, alafu tuone daktari wa mtoto, alafu tuelezee vile hiyo watamfanyia surgery kufanya. Kufika tarehe 2 mwezi wa 3 tulienda tuambia tufanye matest zingine na tulizofanya. Hizo matest zilikuwa 17,800. Alafu walituambia sasa watamfanyia operation. Wakamfanyia operation. Wakamfanyia upasuaji lakini kuna kuondoa. Hadi wa leo hakuna, unasikia uchungu kwa tumbo. Sisi tulienda huko Homa Bay Referral wakatuleta hapa. Tulikuja hapa sasa waliniweka kwa mashine, walipima, wakajua ni nini kinaendelea. Sasa from now wamempangia kumfanyia chemo for 6 weeks.
So guys, Willis atakwenda kwa chemo for 6 weeks, after which the doctors will now determine whether he will be going for surgery because they need to remove the mass that is on his plate. I think I'm getting it right. So guys, yes, we want to say thank you for those who came through and support baby Willis and the mother. We were able to help them where we could. Your contribution has gone way a long way in helping them in terms of medical bills and also the chemo and all the things that they need. needs for the operation. Thank you.
Now, Natembeya Eugene fight is not a friendly fight that actually pursues at the fighting for the soul of that DAPK. And I think at this point, let's get the argument. There is a camp around Natembeya that believes that they are more popular, that the Tawe movement is more popular, and so they should be at the top leadership of the DAPK party. This camp, according to the Natembeya, believes that if they are allowed to be the top leaders of the party, they will make DAPK more popular. But Eugene Wamalwa has already announced that he will vie for presidency under DAPK. And to this point, Eugene and George Natembeya are fighting for the top leadership, and Natembeya wants to upstage Eugene as the party leader. So today there was a national management, central management meeting of the at Chui House of the DAPK party, and after that, the Eugene Wamalwa and the team made this statement.
Feel threatened at all. We are a democratic party. In fact, we have said anyone who wishes to run for any seat in our party is free to do so. And we have space and mechanisms to resolve any dispute. So there's nothing we can't handle because we are seasoned and we can chew gum and scale the stairs at the same time. We can do it. So we're not worried at all.
Just to clarify, we're
Yes.
going to have our NEC meeting in the next 2 weeks.
Yes.
Specific to the concerns or reports that the third deputy party leader
Yes.
has registered another political party.
That is one of the petitions that have been brought. We have said our NEC will appoint that team that will now resolve those disputes internally. Because we've heard of a party called CORD. If there is evidence that he has registered that and maybe promoted the ideas of a party other than the party that elected him, the consequences are clear legally. But that is not for us to speculate. It is for the team that the NEC would appoint to resolve. And that will be a quasi-judicial body that anyone mentioned adversely, including myself and the national chair, will have an opportunity to appear before that body and to clear the air, to clear the names, and for us to proceed together.
They're calling for that transition is there. I want to say this. Natembeya's position on becoming the party leader is a welcome call. Now, that transition must be well managed so that it bolsters that party and upset Wetangula dominance. But if the Natembeya camp believe that for the party to exist and to be more popular, then they must diminish the influence of Eugene Wamalwa, then I think it does not serve the purpose of coming up with a united opposition. Yes, Eugene Wamalwa might not be as popular as Natembeya, but how about seniority? How about seniority? The coup that has been done in an isolation manner, that you want to isolate the other person, does that pursue the unity agenda of the opposition? If you look at it, it does not pursue that unity. And I think, with all due respect, Natembeya wants to go back to be governor. It will be a stamp in the face of the Tawe support base if he fights to be the party leader of DAPK but still wants to go defend his Trans Nzoia governor seat. I think he would have just remained even the deputy party leader, Salasia to take probably secretary general, and then Eugene to remain the party leader. That would have been more appropriate, and it would have solidified the party that now than the internal fight for this. And this is what Natembeya was responding about.
Unajua hatutakani kupeana lip service to democracy. Unajua chama chetu ni Democratic Action Party. We want just to practice what the party stands for. Kama kuna opportunities, for instance, kutakuwa na vacancy in the presidency in 2027. Nataka any member ambaye within the DAP ambaye anataka kusema kwa kiti cha rais awanike cha rais without anybody saying, and labda mtu akisema hivyo ana rock the party from within. What do you mean rocking the party from within? And the party belongs to all the members. It's not for 2 or 3 people. But the one who's kuunda chama mwenyewe na members wanakuja wakutoe. You know, it's just within the provisions of the law. The DAP is a very strong party. It's firm. We want just to make it, rebrand it, to make it better, to make it bigger, to open it up, to enjoy dhana kwamba it's just a party for Transfer, for Ngoma, a party that can compete with other parties in this republic. Maana ile maono tuko nayo kwa chama yetu ni mambo makubwa. We don't want to practice the politics of tribalism in this mambo mengine ya ukabila hatutaki.
So your chama umeregister? There's a party that is being said that you registered.
They know.
Proxies have registered.
They know what to do. Kama nimeunda chama changu naona nimeregister na member. How do you say, can they produce evidence kama nimeunda chama? Najua mambo ya watu kupayuka na kuongea na mnaende sana utaki kwa chama. As leaders we need to be very serious people. Tuaje mambo ya rumor mongering na fitina. Mtu akisema anatembea ameunda chama atakileta hapa. Sema umeunda chama kilipo. Kuunda chama una register wewe mwenyewe jina lako liko pale. Takusema proxies or my proxies. Mimi niko na Wakenya marafiki all over the place. Are you telling me to leo kuunda chama watu kwa nayo posema Natembeya proxy ameunda chama? Your idleness ndio sisi hatutaki. Waje tukue serious, we focus kwa issues ambazo zina matter kwa Wakenya.
Now, I saw a tweet from Eugene, and I believe this you know, Natembeya and Salasia could be having the good intentions for the party. There's absolutely no worry about that. But if that transition is not managed well, it also has the potential of crashing that party, unless the other objective is to crush that party. Eugene is saying, my brother PK Salasia is even your son, not even your brother. Both you and my brother George Natembeya do not have to leave or cause a coup in our party DAPK in order to become party leaders or presidential candidates. You are welcome to face me for the presidential ticket in free and fair nominations, as ours is truly a democratic party that can allow us all to realize our political aspirations through internal democracy without wrecking our party or washing our dirty linen in public. You need to remember this. DAPK was born from a coup. Wamunyinyi and the team tried to remove Wetangula. At that time, Wetangula was already showing signs of working with William Ruto. And they tried to kill the Ford Kenya party by removing Wetangula as the party leader. But it did go through. That backfired. Then when they realized that could not work on, when then that failed, DAPK was formed. And then DAPK was formed as a contingency plan after the failed coup. I'm tempted to believe that that is the same playbook that probably Natembeya wants. That Natembeya wants to stage a coup, and if the coup against Eugene Wamalwa fails, then he forms his party and then just get the drama or get the momentum of exit. I believe so. If you want unity for the party, if you need a Mulembe Nation party, then you need everyone. You might be popular and maybe above Eugene in terms of popularity, but that also must be controlled. To show you that opposition is infiltrated, look at what's happening in Malava. Malala went to Malava and went on public to ask DAPK to drop their candidate so that they will support the candidate of DCP.
Ukiangalia chama ambayo imekuja hapa juzi ya DAP wanasema ati hiyo ndio chama cha Mluya. Ningependa kutofautisha vitu mbili. Iko tofauti ya Mluya kusema chama cha Mluya na ni chama ama chama cha Mbukusu. Sababu ukiangalia chama party leader wake Eugene Wamalwa kutoka Trans Nzoia. Ako na deputy wawili. Deputy party leader wake George Natembeya kutoka Trans Nzoia. Deputy Mbukusu. Deputy party leader wa pili ni wa Munyinyi Mbukusu. Secretary General ni Eseli Mbukusu. Yule mzee Noah Wekesa, yeye ni Mbukusu organizing secretary. Nyinyi watu wa Kakamega mko wapi kwa hiyo chama jamani? Na watupatie heshima. Watupatie heshima. Leo hii kule Trans Nzoia Natembeya na Eugene Wamalwa na Wamunyinyi wakipoteza kiti kwa Wabukusu kule. Mimi nitatoka hapa niende kwa skimu huko kuwachagulia mbunge kweli? Yaani mnatudarau paka kwa bedroom yetu.
Kwa maana wewe ni kama msichana mwenye anapea matiti. Tunakuambia ya kwamba Malava ina wenyewe. Kama ni uongo, vitu ndio hiyo. Ya pili, nataka Malala tukuambia kwamba Malava tuna sisi 50 panyako. Sisi kijana unaleta hapa etika hatuna naye ukombi. Etika ni kijana hapa aenda afanye wakili wa chama cha TAP. Lakini sisi panyako ndio tunataka kumupa kiti ya Malava ya uchumba wa Malava. Nipe Yanga kiti ndio hiyo. Na tatu, Malala kama wewe ni mtu wa maana, mbona utoa Mtabati na chama chake ukauza? Na umewacha Mtana Mtabati maana ameuza chama na umekuja huko umeanzisha chama kingine. Sisi tuko kwa chama cha nyumbani tunaitwa TAP. Tunasema ya kwamba Malala wewe una tetika hata mkaya Kakamega. Kama ni uongo mimi ndio hiyo. Na mwisho Malala tunakuambia kwamba kama wewe ni mwanaume tunataka ukuje usimame ukawana ndio tuone wewe ni nani. Sisi tuko na TAP, Eugene Wamalwa, Natembeya, Salasia, Wamunyinyi, sasa Panyako. Hiyo. Kuna ni wani ati.
But he's going to resort to two things. One, stealing elections, as Oscar Sudi has told us, Senator Cherargei has told us, and violence. So IBC, come out. But for us as the coalition, we are going to agree in the next few weeks after IBC announces to field joint candidates in each constituency. So do not think we'll fall into the trap. We are being divided ourselves as the opposition. DCP and DAP Kenya are sister parties in the same coalition. I believe by the time the date is announced and we go to that election, it will emerge that Seth Panyako is the leading candidate in Malava, and DAP Kenya is ahead of DCP. We'll be asking them to do the honorable thing and stand down their candidate to support the leading candidate. It is the determination of this coalition to win each of the 6 parliamentary by-elections. Once we do that, those of you who are doubting one term, these by-elections are going to tell you that William Ruto is actually going to be a one-term president, beginning with the by-elections. Thank you very much. We can take a last question.
Just a clarification.
Sorry?
Just a
Sorry? Yes. The disputes in the party, I think we had already answered that in our statement, that we have received petitions, including against...
The candidate who was to be dropped was Seth Panyako, who vied in the last general election and actually became number 2. Was in top 3. If number 2, if not number 2, then number 3. So it's also a very competent candidate. But I was wondering, even if there is a coalition talk going on, why must you go to attack if another party, which actually you guys are in the same coalition, and go to public? And someone was telling me, Kevin, Malala might actually leave Rigathi Gachagua. The next person that will be asked his price is going to be Malala. And the moment the president will ask Malala, what is your price? That will be the end of DCP party. He's just upping his game, boosting his bargain, so that at the opportune time, he'll be asked, what is your price? If he left Mudavadi, Malala left Mudavadi. Yes. He left Mudavadi and joined William Ruto at a time no one was actually expecting so. And it brought backlash. This really plants disunity. The other day, Martha Karua was complaining that who is leaking opposition secrets to the media? Twice, a power sharing agreement has come out. At a time, they still don't even have a manifesto. People started asking, come on. And President Ruto seemed to have realized. He knows that these people are not talking about any manifesto. And he's pushed them in the corner, bring me your plan, even though we agree that the president is not an auditor general for campaign plans on manifestos. Now, how the clash is playing into Ruto's trap is what I want us to get. Now, this Mulembe fight, is clearly playing into William Ruto's doorstep. And in this opposition, the only person that is solid, the only two politicians that to me look solid is Rigathi, and not to three. Rigathi, Martha Karua, and Matiang'i. I've always said here, the country needs Kalonzo Musyoka. Yes, the country needs Kalonzo. Kuna pressure mingi sana. Pressure ni mingi sana. If you get a diplomatic president, at least, even Matiang'i is very brutal. We'll wake up the next day in a public school and fire everyone. We'll go there and fire that contractor and but he's a deliverer. But I think we need a more diplomatic president so that at least tension is shook. A president who will be shaken when Kenyans are saying enough is enough. This is playing into William Ruto's trap. And I want to tell you, the first is this. Mulembe opposition wing is being weakened. Being weakened. And if there was an axis that will be a big decider in the next general election, will be the Mulembe Nation. Because I think for the first time, they are showing signs of not aligning to what Raila says. Yeah, not for the first time, but since 2007. 2007, they voted for Raila to the last man. 2013, they voted to the Raila against Mudavadi. 2017, they all voted for Raila. Mudavadi was then. 2022, they voted for Raila, even though Mudavadi and Rutangula were on the other side. So this time round, they're a big stake. And this Mulembe wing is being weakened in those two grounds, in those two, either of those coalitions, either the opposition coalition or even on the government coalition. Because if Uko iko weak, if people are divided, if it is divided through the dividend rule that William Ruto now has employed, then even Mudavadi and Wetangula will not have a stronger bargain didn't stand. The other issue is, in Natembeya is bidding whose candidature? If Natembeya is breaking the DAPK, is Natembeya bidding for Kalonzo's candidature? Or Natembeya is working secretly for William Ruto? People don't, I've had Tawe. I've not had Tawe attacking president. The Tawe guy attacks Musalia and Kalonzo and Mudavadi. Is George Natembeya working for William Ruto? Remember, this is a case here. Is he working for William Ruto indirectly? Remember, he comes from a county that a very good percentage comes from William Ruto's sub-tribe. The other issue is the overall view of a weak opposition is gaining momentum. A divided opposition is a weak opposition, and that is really gaining momentum. Thank you.